Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you The Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweet. From the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Do you know that there's a spread for bread that's made by Kraft and that it's called parquet margarine? Well, sure you do. Most everyone knows that. But do you know why this spread for bread that's made by Kraft and is called parquet margarine tastes so good? Well, it's that fresh, delicate flavor that makes parquet taste so good. And do you know that every pound of this spread for bread that's made by Kraft and is called parquet margarine and tastes so good contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A? Well, then listen to more good news. This nourishing spread for bread that's made by Kraft and is called parquet margarine and tastes so good and contains vitamin A also is one of the most economical energy foods you can buy. So, enough said. Tomorrow, ask your dealer for delicious, nourishing parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y, parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now let's drop in on our friend the Great Gildersleeve in Summerfield. The town is suffering from a long, dry heat wave, I'm sorry to say, and Gildersleeve, like the rest of the fat men, is suffering more than his share. We find him now at breakfast with his family, considerably past the time when he should be downtown in his office at the water department.
Hot. Leroy, could I have the newspaper, please?
In just a second. Oh, you mustn't disturb him, Uncle Mort. He's reading the funnies.
Well, I want to read the war news. Leroy?
Nothing new. Patton went through a couple more countries.
Leroy, Who's that?
I'll go and see. Who's at the door?
We'll take care of it, Bertie.
Well, good morning, Marjorie. Is your uncle still here?
Oh, yes. He's been very slow this morning. Come on in.
Thank you.
Well, hello, Judge. Come in. Take off your coat. Relax.
Oh, I'm perfectly comfortable, thank you. Heat bothering you?
Must be wonderful to be skinny. What's on your mind?
Have you seen the morning paper?
Not yet. I haven't been able to get it away from Leroy. But by George,
Here it is. You don't have to grab. Hi, Judge.
Hello, Leroy. Here. Let me read you the item, Gildy. You'll love this.
Yeah?
Mayor Cyrus Terwilliger was the victim of a freak accident last night when his car skidded on State Highway 47 where it passes the Summerfield Reservoir. The mayor suffered minor lacerations and contusions.
Yeah, too bad, wasn't it?
Investigation of the cause of the accident led to the discovery that a number of live eels were leaving the reservoir.
Eels?
They were crossing the highway at this point, and it is thought the mayor's car skidded on striking the procession of slippery creatures.
Eels? If you ask me, the mayor was full of root beer.
Well, what were the eels doing walking across the road?
You know, come to think of it, there's an old belief that when eels leave a pond, it means it's going dry.
That's nothing but a superstition. Eels. Why, the Summerfield Reservoir is full of water. Always has been. The whole thing is ridiculous. Maybe I better get down to the office and look into this.
Gildersleeve, there's some people waiting to see you.
Bessie, I can't see him.
There's one man that's been waiting for quite a while.
I don't care.
Here's his card.
Card? Professor Luther T-Berry, rainologist. Send him away. Send him away, Bessie, and get me Charlie Anderson on the phone.
Charlie Anderson?
Yes, Bessie, the engineer out at the reservoir.
Oh, he's one of the people that's waiting to see you.
Well, show him in. Ye gods, what's the matter with you, Bessie? By George, I'm going to have to let her go.
Well, Commissioner, you sure keep bankers' hours. I've been sitting out there since 8:30 waiting to see you. Where the dickens
Now,
is...
Charlie. Leave us alone, please, Bessie.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, what's the water situation out at the reservoir? How's she holding up?
That's what I come in to see you about. We're put in there dry.
Well, you're a fine engineer. If the reservoir is that low, why didn't you warn me?
Warn you? I've been sending you reports on it every day for a month. Did you read them?
Well, let me see. Would they be in the in basket or the out basket? Oh, here they are. In the immediate action file. Quite a few of them here.
Well, I sent you 20 or 30.
Oh, yeah, well, let's see. According to the most recent, the water's down to 18. Is that feet?
No, it's inches.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, if she drops another 3 inches, the intake pipe on the pump will be out of water.
What happens then?
What do you think happens? We pump air. Folks will be taking baths in air. They'll be washing their clothes in air. They'll be...
I understand, Charlie. But why can't we lower the intake pipe a few inches? Can't you do that?
No, you can't. Lower it 3 inches and you'll be pumping mud. Folks will be taking baths in mud.
They'll be washing their clothes.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. Well, Charlie, we've got to keep calm.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
That's busted. What do you want, sister? Didn't the commissioner say we wasn't to be disturbed?
Now, Charlie, we did wish privacy, Bessie. What is it?
Well, the mayor just called. He wants to see you right away.
Oh.
Well, you tell that fathead to go take a run and jump.
Oh, no, Charlie. Under the circumstances, I think I better go and see him. Your Honor?
Oh, yes, Gildersleeve. Be with you in a minute.
Pretty hot today, isn't it, Your Honor?
I'll be with you in just a moment.
Yes, sir. Pardon me. Keep me standing here, the petty bureaucrat.
Miss Riggs, have you got those tax figures for last year?
Trying to make himself look important.
Well, if you'll just call me when you have them, please.
Put them on your...
Yes. Now, Gildersleeve, sit down.
Thank you. I'm sorry to hear about your little accident last night.
Well, it may have been a blessing in disguise, since it called my attention to the state of things out of the reservoir.
Well, I certainly hope you don't believe that old superstition about the eels leaving a sinking pond, Your Honor. Amusing theory, though, isn't it?
Very amusing. But what are the facts?
Facts?
Yes. Is the town in danger of going dry or not?
Well, I wouldn't want to say we're in danger, but at the same time...
Yes?
Well, I wouldn't want to make a definite statement without getting all the facts.
Well, confound it, get the facts. I want a complete report.
Well,
And I want it in 48 hours.
48 hours? Why, that's only 3 days.
It's 2 days. Can I count on it?
You can count on it, Your Honor. I'll make it my personal responsibility.
Very well. For your own sake, I hope the report is satisfactory.
Yes, sir.
One thing more, Gildersleeve.
Yes, Your Honor?
I wouldn't want you to think all this has anything to do with the fact you ran against me for mayor.
It hasn't?
Nothing whatsoever. I'm simply doing my duty as I see it. You understand that, don't you?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Bureaucratic old weasel, small-time dictator. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Wants a report, does he? I'll give him a report. Let's see. To begin with, there's no water. We'll have to find a better way to say it than that. Oh, well. Yep, something's leaking. Huh? What? Who? What?
Have you got a moment, friend?
Who are you?
Well, you have my card there, Professor Luther T-Berry.
That's Bessie. What are you doing in my office?
Oh, that I'll explain, friend.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you locking that door for?
Well, what I have to explain is of a scientific nature.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Enemy ears may be listening.
No, look here. I'm a busy man.
Oh, sure, my friend. But if you will give me just 5 minutes of your time...
Well, what do you want?
Tell me, Mr. Gildersleeve, what would a cloudburst be worth to you right now?
Cloudburst?
Mm-hmm. How would you like it if it rained cats and dogs tomorrow and just kept right on raining?
You mean you can make it rain?
That's what I mean, friend. That's what I mean.
Oh, brother. Wait a minute. Look, I'm a busy man. I haven't got time to listen to any nonsense.
I seem to detect a little note of skepticism. Only natural, of course. There are charlatans even in this business. But let me ask you, you've heard of Benjamin Franklin?
Certainly I've heard of Benjamin Franklin. I've heard of Alexander Hamilton, too, and Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, you have? Oh, well.
I get around.
No, yes. Well, now let me tell you. Franklin proved, that is, if you remember, that thunderstorms produce electricity. Is that right?
Well, I guess so.
Mm-hmm, very well. Then why shouldn't electricity produce thunderstorms?
Well, I don't know. Why shouldn't it?
No reason at all, friend. No reason at all. Now, I have patented an electronic device which does just that. It generates high-tension electrical charges which are transmitted by means of a reverse lightning rod to the clouds up above. Mm-hmm. Gradually, the potential is built up there until it is sufficient to cause a discharge. In other words, lightning.
Lightning.
Mm-hmm. The lightning breaks the atmospheric tension, causing precipitation. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you'd care to see my credentials, here's some newspaper clippings.
Very interesting, very interesting. But there's one thing I'd like to ask.
Yes?
How much do you charge for this?
How's that?
I say, how much do you charge?
Oh, there's no charge, no. That is as such. No, my interest in this is purely scientific.
Well, fine, in that case.
All I require is an advance payment of $500.
$500?
Yeah, to help defray expenses.
Good day, Professor.
Oh, now wait just a minute.
I've wasted all the time I'm going to.
You better think it over, friend.
And don't call me friend. Good day.
I still say you better think it over.
What am I thinking of? I ought to have my head examined. A Rainmaker. Let's get back to this report. No water. By George, if that fellow could make it rain. After all, they laughed at Edison. They laughed at Marconi. Professor, come back here, friend.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. You know, most of us like to eat bread at every meal, and whether you prefer it as crunchy toast, as a plain slice from a golden-crusted loaf, or as rolls and muffins, you're sure to enjoy bread at its best when spread with delicious Parquet margarine. Kraft makes Parquet margarine, so naturally you'd expect Parquet to taste extra good, to have a fine, delicate flavor that really satisfies. And remember, Parquet is more than just a good-tasting spread. It's a splendid energy food, one of the best you can eat. Equally important, Kraft fortifies Parquet so that every pound contains 9,000 units of essential vitamin A. So for good nutrition and real flavor enjoyment, too, buy and serve Parquet, Parkay. This economical, nutritious spread for America's bread requires only 2 ration points a pound. So ask for Parquet, the quality margarine that's made by Kraft. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve, who really seems to be on the spot. In desperation, he has contracted for the services of Professor T-Berry, the eminent Rainmaker, but he's keeping very quiet about it. We find him now on his way home from the office, seeking solace in the company of his old friend and family pharmacist, Mr. Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Peavy.
Hot enough for you?
Don't mention the weather, Peavy, please.
Excuse me, there's a fly on that table behind you. I wonder if you'd be good enough to... Here's the swatter. There, darn flies, they get all over everything. Always buzzing around. Yeah, it's like Mark Twain said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
Peavy, how much longer do you think this dry spell can last?
Well, that's hard to say, Mr. Gildersleeve. Hard to say. But you know, they tell me, that is, people who've been out there, they tell me it's got so bad the eels are leaving the reservoir.
Well, that was in the newspaper. Don't tell me you believe all that stuff about eels.
No, it's pretty hard to fool an eel. Eels are pretty slick.
Yes, they're pretty slippery, too. But that doesn't mean they know more than you and I do.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
An eel can be wrong, you know.
Have you ever known an eel to be wrong?
I've never known an eel. Let's forget about eels, if you don't mind. I don't like them.
Squeamish?
I'm not squeamish. I just don't like them. Peavy, tell me something.
Yes?
You believe that science can produce rain?
Mr. Gildersleeve, you weren't thinking...
Well, I'm asking this for a friend.
Oh.
You see, I have this friend. He happens to be a water commissioner, too. Lives over in, I forget the name of the town. But they have a little problem over there. No water.
Okay.
Well, anyway, to make a long story short, Peavy, this friend of mine, the water commissioner, he discovered a scientist who claims he can manufacture rain. Now, my friend wants to know if such a thing is possible.
Is your friend asking me?
I'm asking you. My friend asked me.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know any more about it than my friend, but you make things in your back room there. Do you know about science and stuff?
I'm afraid making a few ounces of barley water is a little different from making a cloudburst. That's a pretty large prescription.
I didn't say you could do it, but do you think it can be done? That's what I want to know. I mean, my friend does.
Well, I'd be the last to say anything was impossible. After all, look at the fountain pen.
Huh?
But there's one word of advice I'd give your friend, if you see him.
Oh, I'll be seeing him.
Well, tell him that if this scientist brings up the question of payment...
Oh, come to think of it, I believe my friend said the fellow wanted $500 for the job.
$500? That's a lot of money in any kind of weather.
You're telling my friend.
Well, my advice would be to pay the man after he produced the rain, not before.
I wish my friend had thought of that.
If you ask me, Mr. Gildersleeve, it sounds as if your friend were a little soft in the head.
Now, listen. My friend is just as smart as you are any day of the week, and don't you forget it. Goodbye, Peavy.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve. Oh, and my regards to your friend.
Leroy, what are you doing up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I heard your alarm go off. Where are you going, Unc?
Nowhere.
Can I go?
No.
Why not?
Because.
Oh, gee, you wake me up 3 hours before breakfast and you already...
Leroy, quiet.
Well, can't I come with you, Unc?
You can come with me if you'll keep quiet and stop asking questions.
Okay. Where are we going?
Out to the eels. Reservoir.
What for?
I want to conduct some experiments.
What kind?
You'll see.
Why so early?
I want to get the jump on the weather.
How are you going to do that?
Ye gods, Leroy, stop asking questions. You'll see when we get there. Climb out, my boy. Charlie! Charlie Anderson!
Here he comes, Unc.
That you, Commissioner? Well, I quit. Dad busted, I quit.
Now, Charlie.
You could get yourself another boy.
Charlie, all I ask you to do is cooperate with the professor and help him out.
Professor, my eyes. That ginks as daffy as a bonny bird.
Leroy, you know Uncle Charlie Anderson.
Sure. Hi.
Kids. As I said before, I quit.
Now, come along. You just let me handle the professor.
You can have him. Look at him there with his head in that fool machine. He don't know what he's doing.
This is a little out of your line, Charlie, that's all.
Yeah, out of his, too.
Well, good morning, Professor.
Good morning, friend. A fine morning. But we'll soon change that, eh?
What's that thing?
Now, Leroy, don't bother the professor. The professor is going to make rain for us.
Oh, gosh, Unc, you forgot your umbrella.
The kid's all right.
Well, don't encourage him. How about it, Professor? Is your apparatus about ready?
Yes, all hitched up. Just in time. Just make one more connection here.
Fiddle faddle. Listen to him.
Is he kidding?
Now, if my good friend here will give me a hand with the engine.
You call that an engine?
Give him a hand, Charlie.
Oh, silly.
All right. You may fire when ready, Gridley.
Who?
Turn her over.
Oh, crazy.
No gas, huh?
You keep out of this, Leroy.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, just try again. Once more into the breach, dear friend.
What?
Turn it over again.
Oh, this silly pig.
You reckon? Now, stand back there, Sonny. Stand back, Commissioner. You two there,
to get to my office. How about it, teabags?
Oh, I can't understand it. It worked in Moose County. It worked at Hoosier Falls.
Well, those are the brakes, kid.
Leroy, I don't care for that expression.
Don't worry, friend. I won't give up the ship. I'll make it rain if it takes all summer.
I'll spit in his eye. That's as close as he'll get to rain.
Never mind, Charlie. We need the water. Let's save it. I knew it wouldn't work. Just an idea, that's all. Just an idea that cost $500. Your Honor, you sent for me?
I certainly did, Gildersleeve. Sit down.
Take your time, Your Honor, whenever you're ready for me.
I'm ready now. Sit down.
Yes, sir. I've been working on my report, but I want
Never mind the report, Gildersleeve. What the devil is this?
That? Well, I'll tell you, Your Honor.
It's a requisition for $500, isn't it?
Well, yes.
And who authorized it?
I did.
You have no authority to requisition any such sum for your department, and you know it.
Well, it was an emergency, Your Honor.
What is the money for?
Well, it was, to make it rain in Summerfield.
To make it rain? $500 to make it rain? Who got the money? Jupiter Pluvius?
No, Professor T-Berry. He's a scientist. He knows a scientific way to make rain by electricity, and I thought it'd be a good investment for the town.
When is the professor going to make his experiment, Gildersleeve?
He made it this morning.
But I don't see any rain. Gildersleeve, I don't think this is going to surprise you particularly, but
I am not. I resign.
You're fired.
You can't fire me, you small-town bureaucrat. I quit.
Well, either way, clean out your desk today. I'll get going.
Oh, okay. Reports. Throw them away. Average water pressure for the year 1942. Who cares about that? All water over the dam now.
Here's something you might want to take with you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Huh? What's that?
This clipping. It's a story in the Indicator the day you became water commissioner.
Oh, yeah. Let me see it. A new era in public service was promised Summerfield citizens today by Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, who moved into his new office as water commissioner at City Hall this morning. Put it in my briefcase, Bessie.
Yes, sir.
Ah, me. The path of glory leads but to the grave.
Were you speaking to me, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No, I wasn't, Bessie. That is not particularly. Well, I guess I might as well be going now.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, it isn't going to be the same without you.
Now, Bessie, you and the new commissioner will get along fine, whoever he is.
Oh, but I like you. I can't stand to have you go.
That's very nice of you, Bessie. I'll miss you, too. You may not be the best secretary in the world, but I'll miss you just the same.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Bessie, confound it.
Hey, Commissioner.
Charlie, what are you doing here?
What's this I hear about you quitting?
Well, it's true, Charlie.
Well, if you quit, I quit. They could get another boy.
That's the way I feel, too, Charlie. I want to quit, too.
You keep quiet, Dad Buster.
I won't.
Oh.
Now, Bessie, please. I want you both to know, you, Bessie, you, Charlie, that I value your loyalty. I value your friendship.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me. But you've got to stay on. You've got to stick to your job. The city needs water. You'll have a new commissioner in a few days, and he'll need your help.
He'll need more than that. The intake pipe is high and dry right now.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Where's my hat? Oh, got it on. Briefcase. Well, goodbye, Charlie. Goodbye, Bessie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fine people. No man ever had better employees. Well, they'll carry on in the Gildersleeve tradition. Commissioners come, commissioners go, but the waterworks goes on forever.
Well, we're home early, huh, Gildersleeve? Good night.
I give the best years of my life to the water department. What thanks do I get?
Good night, Commissioner.
Commissioner. Oh, well. Oh! Rain! Rain! Too late. Well, those are the breaks, kid.
Miss Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I fixed you something I know you're going to like. I just happened to make a jelly roll this afternoon. I know you're a man that likes jelly roll.
Very sweet of you, Bertie, but I'm afraid I couldn't this evening. Tell the truth, I'm not very hungry somehow.
Oh, you shouldn't take it so hard, Mr. Gildersleeve. It ain't so bad being fired.
I was not fired, Bertie. I resigned.
Well, it ain't so bad to resign.
Well, I think you were lucky to be fired, Uncle Mort. I mean, it's lucky you thought of resigning. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to you. Why, you probably have all sorts of wonderful opportunities now.
Such as what?
I don't know, but something will turn up.
Do you think we'll starve, Unc?
Well, not immediately.
I'd be glad to give up my music lessons. That'd save money. And I could quit school and take a job.
Yes, well, I appreciate the offer, my boy, but that'll not be necessary.
I'll get it, Unc.
If that's for me, I'm not in.
Hello? Yeah, just a minute. It's long distance, Unc. Wistful Vista is calling.
Wistful? Well, that must be Fibber McGee. Hello? That you, Merc? Well, put him on. Fibber? Hello, little chum. How's Molly? Great. What's on your mind? You have? Uh-huh. 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 Well, sounds very interesting. Well, if it pans out the way you say, I might be willing to give up my job at the waterworks. Much obliged, McGee. I'll be hearing from you. So long. Well, those are the breaks, children.
What is it, Unc?
McGee and I are going to make $1 million. Good night, everybody.
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen in again next week at this same time for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
If your family is passing up fresh green salads, here's how to stir up brand new appetite interest in these nourishing fresh vegetables. For a new surprise touch of flavor, zip up your salad dressings with tangy golden Kraft salad mustard. It's creamy smooth and blended to Kraft's own special recipe, made of choice mustard seed, mild vinegar, and fragrant spices. So you can use Kraft salad mustard in all sorts of tempting ways. It gives a grand flavor lift to cheese fondues and Welsh rabbits, blends smoothly into an appetizing cream sauce for hot-cooked vegetables, adds delicious flavor to deviled eggs and to cold meat cuts. So have a jar of Kraft salad mustard handy whenever you prepare meals, luncheons, or snacks. Buy that other favorite, too, Kraft mustard with nippy horseradish added. Head up your shopping list tomorrow with these two popular varieties, Kraft horseradish mustard and tangy golden Kraft salad mustard. Have you heard that Joan Davis and Jack Haley are back in the Seal Test Village store? Consult your local newspaper for the time and station.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Yeah. Cheese Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the Great Gildersleeve each week at this time, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore, with music by Claude Sweeten. the great Gildersleeve in just a moment. If you can't take all the time you'd like eating breakfast, well, the next best thing is to pack all the good nourishment you can into your first meal of the day. That's why it's so important for you to include a fine energy food like Parquet margarine in every breakfast you eat. Parquet helps provide lots of pep and energy for a hard day's work. And it also contains an important vitamin essential to your daily diet. That vitamin is vitamin A. So every pound you buy has 9,000 units of vitamin A. So get off to a bright start each day with the help of delicious, nourishing Parquet margarine. That's Parkay, Parquet. And remember, Parquet margarine is made by Kraft. With the great Gildersleeve. Well, his old opponent, the mayor of Summerfield, has begun warming up his campaign for re-election, and his first political move was to oust our friend from his position as water commissioner. But was Gildersleeve downhearted? Well, yes, for a time, but then came a long-distance phone call from his old chum, Fibber McGee. Fibber, it seems, had a proposition.
Oh, sounds very interesting, Fibber. Well, I'll be hearing from you then, huh? Much obliged, McGee. So long.
What is it, Unc?
McGee and I are going to make $1 million.
Unky, darling, you're not joking.
Of course I'm not joking. $1 million is nothing to joke about.
$1 million.
$1 million? That's more than I'm making a year.
Yeah. Keep this to yourself, Bertie, and all of you. Mum's the word on this, so we're ready to announce it.
Yes, sir.
How are you going to knock off it, Unc?
We're not going to knock it off, Leroy. We're going into business, McGee and I.
Well, what kind of business, Uncle Mort?
Manufacturing. An invention of McGee's.
Mr. McGee, an inventor?
Oh, yes, McGee's a great tinkerer. And a smart little apple, too. He always was, and I always said so.
What's he invented?
Well, he couldn't tell me over the telephone. The patent is pending. But he's written me a letter all about it. He says it can't miss.
Just think, $1 million. Why, with $1 million...
Hey, Unc.
Yeah?
Will you buy me a bike now, will you, Unc? How will you?
No, Leroy, I will not. I've told you time and again, bicycles cost money. Well, why not? After all, why not?
Sure.
I had a bicycle when I was your age.
Oh, gee, Unc, you're super.
Leroy, you don't have to strangle me.
Gee, thanks, Unc, thanks.
Now. I want you to understand, my boy, if I buy you this bicycle...
I'll take super care of it.
And not leave it around where it'll get stolen.
I promise.
You'll have to study your music every day as soon as you get home from school.
Oh, I will, yes, sir.
That's right.
Isn't so kind of like music now.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. Marjorie, you've been very quiet, my dear. What do you think of your old uncle after all these years suddenly striking it rich?
I was just thinking.
Thinking about what?
You think pink is too young for me?
Pink? Pink what?
For a dress. I was designing one in my mind, and I thought of pink net. But then I decided maybe it'd be too young. What do you think, Bertie?
Oh, I like pink. Pink's mighty pretty.
Funny. Last year I couldn't stand pink. Now all of a sudden I like it again. At least I think I do. I read somewhere that pink is coming back.
Where's it been?
I think Marge looks better in yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah, you know that yellow suit of yours? I like that.
Oh, but that's 2 years old.
I don't care. I like it. You look pretty in that.
Why, Leroy, I didn't think you ever even noticed.
Nobody's better looking than you when you wear that suit.
Leroy, why, that's very sweet of you.
All right, George, that's the way I like to hear you talk. Why can't you always be like that, you two, instead of picking fights with one another?
Who picks fights? I never pick a fight. When Marge makes some crack, naturally
Who made a crack?
Well, you usually do. I don't. You want to
Now, children. Getting back to the dress. Why don't you go down to Hogan Brothers, my dear, and see what they've got? School will be starting next week. You probably need some clothes.
Oh, but what I had in mind wasn't exactly a school dress. It was more of a formal.
Oh, well, pick up a few school dresses, too, while you're there.
Oh, Unky.
Well, I never got such attention when I was poor. All they love me for is my money. Bertie, you haven't made any requests yet. Isn't there anything you need?
Well, yes, it is one thing. I don't like to mention it, but...
Name it, Bertie, and it's yours. Hang the expense.
Well, if you could fix the cord on that electric iron, you going to fix the last 2 months.
Oh, yes,
If you could fix it so it don't spark at me every time I go to touch it.
Yes, I'll do better than that, Bertie. I'll get you a new iron.
Well, it don't need a new iron, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's just a cord. Now, if you could fix that so
Forget the iron, Bertie. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get you a new washing machine. The doggonedest washing machine you ever saw. With shock absorbers and a built-in radio.
Well, that's fine, Mr. Gildersleeve. What am I going on with?
There's going to be a lot of changes around here, folks. You know, Marjorie, you were saying the other day we ought to fix this place up a little. Well, I may do that. Yep, may do it. Might even sell this house and buy a newer one, a bigger one.
Oh, Unky darling.
Yeah?
Well, while we're on the subject, I seem to have spent all my allowance.
Yeah?
Well, what would you suggest?
It looks as if I'd have raised your allowance, don't it?
Hey, no fair.
Yours too, my boy.
Oh, that's different.
By George, everybody's after my money, and I haven't even made it yet. But I will, you watch.
Is Mr. McGee...
He will get his fair share, and not a cent more.
Who's going to be boss?
Well, I'll be president, naturally. Who else? You don't think a little squirt like McGee could... Be just like him to try, though. Be just like McGee, to... Well, by George, we'll settle that right at the start. McGee isn't going to pull anything like that on me. I'll see my lawyer. I'll go see him the first thing in the morning.
Well, Gildy, glad you dropped in. Hang up your chair and take a hat.
No small talk, Judge. I'm in a hurry.
I tried to line up a job for you this morning.
I'm not interested.
I spoke to Frank Babcock.
I don't need you speaking to Frank Babcock or anybody else. I'm known in this town.
All right, Gildy, all right. Sit down, won't you?
I haven't got time to sit down. Do you know how to draw up a partnership contract?
Sure I do. Any dumb lawyer can do that.
Then I came to the right place. Let's get started.
Just wait till I get the form. Who are you going in partners with, Gildy?
Oh, a friend of mine from Whistle Vista, Fibber McGee.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to draw up a partnership contract for me and McGee. Then I've got to find an office right away.
All right. What line of business is it going to be?
I don't know yet. Not exactly. I'm expecting a letter this afternoon that'll give all the details.
All right. I'll leave that blank. How much money are you going to put into it?
None of your business.
I'm only asking as your lawyer. It's customary for each partner to put in so much money.
I don't even know how much McGee's putting in yet. Leave that blank.
All right. Name of the firm, McGee and Gildersleeve or Gildersleeve and McGee?
I like the second one better. But it's not perfect. Leave that blank. Judge.
Yeah?
McGee's a pretty nice little fellow, you understand.
Yeah?
Clever inventor and all that, and I've known him a good long time. One of my best friends.
Yeah?
Just the same, I wouldn't want him to have too much to say about the business. Can you fix that?
I don't know, Gildy. A partnership is an equal proposition.
I know, Horace, I know. But can't you slip in some little clause so that if it comes to a showdown, I'm the boss?
No, Gildy, it can't be done.
Some lawyer. All you know how to do is fill out forms.
Well, what do you expect? You don't even know what business you're in.
Listen, Judge, McGee has an invention. Now, what kind of an invention does a smart inventor make today?
Sure enough, I know.
Bang, 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 Judge.
Oh. You think you might get some government contracts, Gildy?
Do I? That's why I need an office.
You want a suite of offices?
Possibly. Might need a whole building.
Well, I don't know of any whole buildings that are available right now.
Might have to build, then. On this kind of thing, there wouldn't be any trouble with priorities, you understand?
Naturally. See, there's a string of little stores down there next to the...
Wait a minute, Horace. Gives me an idea. Huh? Why not the Gildersleeve block? I'll occupy one building and we'll rent out the rest. Make a lot of money that way.
Golly, I'll see if I can get you an option on that property this morning.
Do that, Judge. Say, I just thought of a name for the firm. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve and Associates.
Great!
All right, Horace, I'll be in touch with you. In the meantime, keep this under your hat.
Don't you worry, Gildy. It's bang, bang, bang.
Or possibly boom, boom, boom. So long, Judge. Uh-oh, that may be the postman, Bertie.
Postman don't ring, Miss Gildersleeve, but I'll go see.
Maybe it's a registered letter. After all, it's important.
Good afternoon, Daddy. Afternoon, Miss Ransom.
Leela, she's heard I'm rich.
Come in, Miss Ransom. You'll find Miss Gildersleeve in the parlor. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, Throckmorton.
Hello, Leela. I'm not a millionaire yet, you understand.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you must have heard. One of the children must have told you.
Told me what?
Now, don't let this get around, Leela. But I expect to be a big manufacturer pretty soon. My little chum, Fibber McGee, has made an important invention.
My, how exciting. What is it?
Well, I can't tell you. It's kind of a military secret. But it's going to be very big.
Oh, you'll be an important man now, won't you?
I guess so. Yes, I presume so.
I suppose you'll forget all about the little girl that lives next door.
I don't know. Even a tycoon, Leela. There's a time for work and a time for play. Let's play, Leela. Oh, I am not. Why should I stop it? It's all your fault.
I never heard such a thing in my life. What did I do?
You left your ears sticking out. Those little pink ears.
Oh, now, get away from me, Throckmorton. Stop it, you hear?
Oh, now, Leela, be reasonable.
I'll tell you. You be quiet for a minute and I'll play for you.
Play? Oh, yeah. I know that. Someday I'll find you, moonlight behind you, true to the dream I am dreaming. As I draw near you, you smile a little smile for a little while. We shall stand hand in hand. I'll leave you never, love you forever. What's the matter?
Throckmorton, darling.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, what do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, none of that love stuff.
Oh.
I mean, we mustn't let this thing get serious.
Mercy, who's getting serious? Not me, I assure you.
Well, as long as that's understood. You know how it is with us tycoons. When we're working, we work hard. When we play, it's all play.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yes, Leela, you don't understand. All I'm out for, Leela, is a good time. I'm no good.
You're tired.
Yeah, I'm a cad. A playboy.
Well, nobody loves to play any more than I do.
Great. Now,
Gildersleeve, here's the mail.
Mail?
Yes, sir. The postman left it at the back door.
Oh, thank you, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
It's a letter from McGee.
Oh.
All about the invention. Let's see. Dear Frocky, I sure was glad to hear you say you'd go partners with me on my invention. I believe you'll make a barrel of money out of it, and I'm glad you're in on the ground floor. The invention does not use any scarce materials. It can be made of plastics, which is very important. Also, there's a good chance the government will be interested. After all, the Army and Navy need mouse traps just as much as... Plastic mousetrap. I might have known that's all he'd think of, a rat like McGee.
Oh, I'm sorry if you're disappointed.
From millionaire to pauper. 5 minutes ago, I was wealthy. Now I'm just anybody. Middle-aged, looking for a job. Quite a come down, Leela. Did you hear what I said, Leela?
Of course I heard. It doesn't make any difference to me, Throckmorton.
Really, Leela?
Of course not, silly. You're the same man you were 5 minutes ago, aren't you?
Sure, I guess so.
And I'm the same girl. The kind of a girl who believes in sticking by a man when he's in trouble.
Leela, maybe I was wrong. I was wrong. I was never cut out to be a playboy.
Oh, Throckmorton.
Yes, sir. A man should be serious about women. Women are serious business.
You think so?
I sure do. Now, let's get down to business. Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. These days, we're all apt to have our ups and downs trying to balance the family food budget. So it's wise to choose foods high in nutritional value, yet low in cash and ration point cost. Surely one such food is economical parquet margarine, the delicious, nourishing spread for bread that's made by Kraft.
High in food energy value, fortified by Kraft so that every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A, Parquet margarine is a downright economical aid to good family nutrition. Think of it. Parquet provides these important food elements, yet requires only 2 ration points a pound. And Parquet's fresh, delicate flavor is another fine aid to good nutrition. So to keep appetites up, to keep your food budget down, buy economical Parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Remember, delicious, nourishing Parquet margarine is made by Kraft. Now let's get back to poor old Gildersleeve, with the props knocked out from under him by McGee's letter, and his castle of dreams tumbled about his ears. He faces at last life's stern reality. In desperation, he's swallowed his pride and decided to follow up a lead on a job that Judge Hooker gave him. So we find him now entering Frank Babcock's hardware store.
Well, madam, what can I do for you?
Excuse me, can you tell me where...
Just a minute. I was here ahead of you.
I know, I was just asking.
Then don't try to shove in ahead.
I wasn't trying to buy anything, lady. I was merely asking the man where I can find the proprietor, Mr. Babcock.
Frank? Oh, he's around somewhere.
Oh, Frank! Some people have no manners.
I guess he's down in the cellar. Come this way, will you?
Listen, you were waiting on me.
I'll be right back, madam. Keep your bonnet on.
Yeah, the old grouch.
Oh, we get plenty of them. Hey, Frank! Frank, you down there? Yeah. Man up here to see you. Oh, what is it now? I'll be up.
He'll be up. Thanks. I'll wait. Not much of a place he's got here. Have to be a lot of changes. It's like a junk shop. Oh, Mr. Babcock?
Yes.
My name is Gildersleeve, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
How much are these dishcloths, please?
Those, lady, those are 25 cents.
25 cents for a dishcloth? Of all the nerve.
Well, there's a war on, lady. That's the price. What can I do for you, bud?
My name is Gildersleeve. I was told...
Hey, Frank. Yeah? What's the price on these here nails? They're not marked. Oh, make it 10 cents. Now, is something you wanted?
Well, God, I came over here because Judge Hooker told me that you were considering...
Oh, you're the fella. Well, as I told the judge, I did have an opening. Can't get hardware now with the war, so I'm trying to build up the feed and fertilizer in.
Fertilizer?
Yes. I needed a salesman with a car to go...
Salesman?
Yes, but I hired a fella yesterday. Of course, maybe he won't work out. He might come back in a week.
Yeah, and I might not. Good day, Mr. Babcock. Why don't you clean up your store? Oh, well, something will turn up. Something's bound to turn up. Yeah, but when? You'll have to cut down, that's all. I'll have to tell the kids. And Bertie.
Uncle Mort, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Well, close your eyes before you come in.
Huh? What for?
Close them.
All right, they're closed.
Wait a minute, Miss Margaret. Shall I get it?
What is this?
There. All right, you can look now. Surprise.
Well, my goodness, that's quite a dress.
Well, don't you like it? Don't you think it's pretty?
Oh, of course.
You don't think it's too long, do you, Bertie?
Yes, he is just right. I like it better than the other one.
Other one?
Well, of course, that's just for sportswear, really. If I can find a coat to go with it, I think it'll be very smart, though.
Marjorie.
Of course, this is the one I love.
Marjorie, there's something I have to tell you. You too, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
And Leroy, where's he?
Oh, he's around somewhere. Leroy!
Leroy! You found what?
Better Fred's Bike Shop. This is the one, Unc. It's a Daisy Flyer. Balloon tires, stand, new departure brake, and genuine rubber pedals. Boy, you should see it. You want to come down with me now and see it? How about it? Fred said he'd hold it for me. A bell, too. It's got a bell.
Yep. Leroy, will you light for a minute? I want to talk to you.
Okay, shoot. But after we'll go down and see it, huh?
I'm afraid not, my boy.
Huh?
I hate to disappoint you, Leroy. You too, my dear, but the fact is, I guess I was a little over-enthusiastic about Mr. McGee's invention.
You mean we're not going to make $1 million?
I'm afraid not, my boy.
Well, don't you care, Uncle Mort? We don't need $1 million.
Yeah, what's the difference? So long as we're rich.
But we're not going to be rich.
Oh, actually, we're not rich. Who is? You know, the good thing about this bicycle, it's got to stand like a motorcycle.
Leroy, I don't think you understand, my boy. This means no bicycle.
No bicycle?
I'm afraid not. We're going to have to cut down all around. Now, me, I'm giving up cigars.
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, Bertie.
I suppose this means I ain't never going to get that iron cord fixed.
Bertie, I'll fix that iron cord this very evening, if not tomorrow morning. Now, my dear, that's a very pretty dress. And
I'll send it back, Uncle Mort. I'll send both of them back.
Well, now...
I don't need any dresses. I've got plenty of dresses. I just bought them, that's all.
I could choke that McGee.
I'll wrap that up for you, Miss Martin.
It's all right, Bertie. I can do it. It's all right about the bike. I don't need a bike. I can walk to school.
Well, it's very manly of you, my boy.
I'm not like some kids, scared to walk to school. I like to walk, doggone it. Need any help there, boy?
Oh, I can't stand this. I think I'll go for a little walk. Be right back, folks.
Where you going, huh?
Oh, just down the corner for a cigar.
I thought you were giving up cigars.
Well, a very cheap cigar. Oh, hello, Phoebe.
Hot enough for you?
Let me have it.
Yes. The usual, I suppose.
No, I'm thinking of making a slight change. Let me try one of those Florida whatchamacallits there, will you? The green ones. I hear they're very good.
Well, they're cheaper.
I'll try one.
You're the customer. Mac?
Thanks. Yes, I've had a little disappointment today, Peavy.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes,
You say you had a disappointment, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yeah, and the cigar is another one. But I suppose I'll have to get used to them. Peavy, did you ever have a fellow you considered a friend? Did you ever have him call you up and tell you had a great invention that was going to make you a pot full of money? Then when the letter came, it turned out to be nothing at all?
No, Mr. Gildersleeve, I can't say that I have.
Well, that's what happened to me.
Would it be out of place to ask who was the friend?
It was no friend, Peavy. It was Fibber McGee.
Oh, Mr. McGee. Well, he seemed a very pleasant sort the only time he came in here.
Those are the ones you can't trust, Peavy. The pleasant ones, the smiling ones. Why, McGee told me this invention would make us both $1 million. And what did it turn out to be? A mousetrap. A plastic mousetrap. The most useless thing in the world.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. You may not be aware of it, Mr. Gildersleeve, but this country has quite a mouse problem today. Of course, they're keeping it quiet till after the election. But really, it's more serious than people know.
Peavy, you're kidding.
No, I'm not. I have a mouse problem right here in the shop.
Why don't you keep a cat?
I used to keep a cat, but I had to let him go. He kept rubbing up against the electric eye there at the door and ringing the gong. Darn thing drove me crazy. I wish I had him back, though. I'd stuff cotton in my ears.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, then why don't you get some traps?
That's just it, Mr. Gildersleeve. There are no traps.
No traps?
There's no metal to mix them with.
By George, I never thought of that.
And no rat poison. The Army's using all the chemicals.
Peavy, you know what this means?
It means the mice will be all over the place.
No, Peavy, it means the biggest potential market for mousetraps ever conceived in the history of mankind.
Well, you know the old saying, build a better mousetrap.
That's what we'll call it, Peavy. The Better Mousetrap Company, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, President. Why, we'll build them by the billions. We'll have a factory in every key city in the United States. We'll have a backlog of 1 million orders. Peavy, do you realize what this will do for humanity? Do you know there are mice right this minute carrying diseases nobody ever heard of? We'll wipe out whole plagues, McGee and I. And what's more, we'll make $1 million. Give me another cigar, Peavy, and take this one out and bury it.
You want a better cigar, I think.
They're the best you've got. Give me 6. Oh, that's McGee. I always said he was a smart cookie. Leela.
Hello, Throckmorton, Mr. Peavy.
By George, Leela, you came at the right time. Sit down and have a soda. Heck, have a banana split. Have one yourself, Peavy.
Oh, no. Thank you.
And not for me, Mr. Throckmorton, thank you, my figure. But I would have a lemonade.
A lemonade for the lady, Peavy, with 2 straws.
Why, Throckmorton, I don't know whatever's come over you.
You better look out for me, Leela. I'm a cad again. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let all the loose talk you've heard here tonight fool you. The world of the plastic mousetrap and the deep freeze and the electronic cooker may be just around the corner, but it's not here yet. We still have a war on our hands, and one of our greatest dangers is still inflation. It will continue to be a danger until our industries are back on full-time production of all the new things we'd like to buy. And that won't be until after Nimitz and MacArthur have taken Tokyo. Now, you've got to look at it this way. If the cost of living is allowed to go up, the people who will be the hardest hit will be the wives and the families of the men in service, who are living on fixed allotments, and not very large ones. So let's not ask for higher wages or raise the prices of the things we have to sell till the war is won and things are back to normal. Victory is coming, but it's not here yet. If we break ranks now, we can still lose this war at home just as surely as if our men deserted at the front. They won't. Will we? Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you The Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore, music by Claude Swaiten. From The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. It's flavor that tempts hungry appetites. It's flavor that makes us enjoy the foods we eat. And that's why Kraft puts fine flavor at a premium in making parquet margarine a delicious spread for bread. Parquet's flavor is something you'll want to tell your friends about. It's so fresh, so delicate, so satisfying. You'll find parquet deliciously good as a spread for bread, for rolls, muffins, pancakes, and waffles. And it's wonderfully nourishing, too. Parquet margarine is a splendid source of food energy, one of the best energy foods you can eat. And for good nutrition, Kraft also fortifies parquet margarine. Every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So for flavor to satisfy your family and for the kind of wholesome nourishment they need, serve parquet every day. Head up your shopping list tomorrow with Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Yes, Kraft makes parquet. Let us turn now to the busy world of industry and finance. Jubilant last week was eager, bumbling Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, one-time water commissioner and prospective mousetrap tycoon. The reason, he and his partner, Fibber McGee, envisioned a rosy future in a post-war world of mice and millions. Well, time marches on and Gildersleeve forges ahead with plans for the manufacture of McGee's plastic mousetrap. We find him now at dinner discussing those plans with his legal counsel, Judge Hooker. Present also are his niece Marjorie and nephew Leroy.
Now, let me give you the picture as I see it, Judge. To begin with, we issue 10,000 shares of stock, McGee and I, at a par value of $1 a share.
Pass the salt, will you?
You can reach it.
That gives us a starting capital of 10,000. Now, all...
Leroy, pass the salt.
Leroy, pass the salt.
She didn't say please.
I did, too. Anyway, why should I?
Pass the salt. Pass it.
Here, Marge, salt.
Never mind. You're too late. I'll eat it without salt.
You'll take it. Here, give me that, Leroy.
Uncle Mort, not on my ham.
You asked for salt. Confound it. Now eat it.
But not on my ham. The ham was salty already. I wanted it on my...
Eat it. Ye gods. I'm trying to talk business with a judge here. I'm sorry, Judge. Continue.
I wasn't saying anything, Gildy. It was you.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll go back. To begin with, McGee and I issue 10,000 shares of stock.
Excuse me, please.
Yes?
Before you begin, if Marjorie's through with the salt there...
Give him the salt.
Here, Judge.
Leroy, you don't have to grab.
Quiet. Now, if you're listening, Judge...
I'm listening, Gildy. Continue. I always like a little salt on my spinach.
I always like a little quiet when I'm talking.
You're always talking.
Leroy...
Proceed, Gildy.
I've forgotten where I was now.
Well, you were cooking up some shady stock deal.
Oh, yes. Well, to begin with, what do you mean, shady? This is all open and above board, Judge. We simply issue 10,000 shares of common ordinary stock, which gives us a working capital...
Excuse me.
What is it, Bertie?
How about a little more of the corn pudding for the judge?
Pudding, Judge?
Well, I'll tell you, Bertie, I shouldn't eat any more, but by golly, I'm going to. It's simply delicious.
Yes, sir, it sure is.
Shoot the jam, Marge.
Leroy, that's no way to ask.
Sorry. Pretty fair one. Would pass the raspberry jam.
Marjorie?
Thank you, sister dear.
You're welcome, brother dear, and may it choke you.
Sweet kid.
No.
Leroy, a little more corn pudding for you?
Not for me, Bertie.
I got only a little of it left here. Ain't you going to help finish it up?
No, thanks, Bertie. I can't stand the stuff.
Leroy, is that any way to talk about something Bertie has worked hard on?
Well, it's squishy. I can't stand anything squishy.
I've told you, young man, not to criticize your food. Give him another helping, Bertie.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, if the boy don't want
Give him another helping.
According to modern education, Gildy, you're all wrong and
Let's keep modern education out of this, Judge. Give the boy another helping, Bertie.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Leroy.
I'm telling you, I can't eat it.
You'll either eat it or go to bed.
All right, I'll go to bed.
No, you won't. You'll eat it.
Yes, sir.
A little corn pudding never hurt anybody. I ate corn pudding when I was your age. Didn't like it particularly, but I ate it. Corn pudding is good for you, Leroy. Builds you up. Vitamins. All right, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to.
Thanks, Unc. Hey, guess who's back in town?
Who?
Marge knows, don't you, Marge?
If you're referring to Everett Todd, I can't stand him.
Oh, you can't, eh?
No, I can't. Everett Todd is a mole.
A what?
A mole. He's a drip.
Mole. That's a new one.
You mean Ainsworth's Todd's boy?
Yeah, Everett.
I thought he went to military school.
He did, but the Army took it over. So now he's back in high school.
He ought to be in reform school.
Yep.
Oh, now, he can't be that bad, Marjorie. His father's president of the First National Bank.
We all know that, Judge. But what difference does it make? The boy is plainly a mole. And so is his old man. I can never stand him either.
Thank you, Uncle Mort.
Never had any use for Ainsworth. I haven't any use for his son. I don't want him hanging around my niece.
Now, Gildy, you don't know anything about the boy.
He's a mole, Judge.
He threatened to come over this evening. If he does, I shall just refuse to see him.
If he does, I shall throw him out on his ear.
Boy, I hope he comes.
Why?
You haven't seen him lately. He's got a good 6 inches over you, Unc.
Finish your dinner, Leroy. The judge and I have business.
I'm finished.
Eat your corn pudding.
What?
Eat it.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Miss Margie ain't in here?
No, she's up in her room doing her homework.
Oh, there's a young Mr. Todd at the door to see her.
Todd? That must be Ainsworth's boy.
Well, by George, I'll tell him where
Now, wait a minute, Gildy, wait a minute. Have the young men wait, Bertie. You know, I've been thinking.
What?
I wouldn't be too hasty about throwing young Todd out of the house. You may want to borrow money from his father's bank.
Borrow from Ainsworth Todd? That stuffed shirt? I never borrow a nickel from him. I'd sooner raise the money myself. By George, I will raise it myself.
How?
I don't know.
Todd isn't a bad fellow. He's got the only bank in Summerfield.
Monopoly.
Oh, you're talking like a baby, Throckmorton. What on earth have you got against Todd?
Well, he threw me out of his office once, if you must know.
What for?
We had a disagreement. I may have called him a crook in the heat of the argument.
Well, you better see if you can get back in his good graces. If he's against you, you won't get credit anywhere in town.
Oh? Maybe you're right, Judge.
I've got to be going now. But think it over, Gildy.
Yeah. Bertie, I'll speak to the young man myself.
Yes, sir. Good night, Judge.
Good night.
Well, my boy. Gildersleeve is my name.
How do you do, sir?
So you've come to see Marjorie.
Well, yes, sir. That is, if she's in.
Oh, she's expecting you all right. Yes, indeed. Come right in. Oh, Marjorie.
Yes, Uncle Mort?
Better hurry down, my dear. Someone to see you.
Who is it?
Never you mind. We'll surprise her. Let me have your hat. Come in and sit down. I remember your father. Remember him well.
Call me Uncle Mort?
You have a visitor, my dear?
I have? Oh, hello.
Hello, Marjorie. How are you?
I thought you were kidding when you said you might come over. I've got an awful lot of homework to do.
Oh, gee.
I'm terribly sorry, but I'll have to ask you to excuse me.
No, Marjorie, you can relax for a few minutes. Bad for your eyes to keep studying all evening.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm lately, hasn't it, Marjorie?
Yes, it has. Quite unseasonable.
I guess it'll be getting colder pretty soon, though. Huh, Marge?
Think so, Marge?
Oh, I suppose so.
Marjorie, do you like Wedgie Arcola's music?
Oh, it's all right, I guess.
Oh, I think he's murder. His whole band's murder, but he's really murder. I think he plays more trumpet than Harry James.
I wouldn't know.
You don't happen to have Wedgie's record of Is You Is or Is You Ain't, do you?
No, I haven't.
Well, I just happen to have it with me. I mean, out in the car. If you'd like to hear it. He plays an awful lot of trumpet in that record.
Is that so? By the way, how's your father these days?
Would you like to hear the record, Marjorie? I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, sure she would. So would I.
Well, swell. It'll only take a second.
Oh, look out for the hat rack.
I'll leave the latch off. Be right back.
Marjorie, you're not being very polite to your young friend.
Uncle Mort, I told you I didn't want to see him. He's a mole.
No, my dear, that's just your opinion.
Oh, no, it isn't. You said so yourself. You said you didn't like him.
I don't even know him. I need money from his father's bank to finance our company, my dear. And I can't have you insulting this boy.
Oh.
Just be friendly, can't you?
I suppose you want me to let him kiss me.
If he tries it, I'll break his neck. All I want is ordinary courtesy, my dear. Just be friendly. Because if you're friendly, he'll be friendly. And if he's friendly, maybe his father will be friendly. The tight wad. Now, if you... Oh, hello, my boy. Got the record, I see.
Yes.
What's his first name, my dear?
The phonograph is over here, Everett.
Yes, right over here, Everett.
Oh, thanks. Gee, I sure hope you're going to like this, Marjorie.
I'm sure she will.
I heard his record of Blue Lagoon, and I thought it was awfully good.
Oh, that one? After he made it, he fired his whole rhythm section. The new guys are much better.
How's your father these days, Everett?
Is the needle hot yet?
I guess he's all right.
Well, here we go.
Nothing like a little jazz.
That's Wedgie, Mr. Gildersleeve. Some tone, huh?
Great. I always liked the cornet.
It's a trumpet.
Trumpet. Oh, it's hard to tell which is which.
Wyatt, how can we hear it?
Oh, sorry. You think the fellow is Toscanini or Tchaikovsky?
And that's the end of the solo. That trumpet's really murder, isn't it?
It suggests murder.
When this Arcola first started, he was a piano player. He didn't switch to the trumpet till later.
Well, that happens. By the way, Everett, what was your father before he became a banker?
I guess he was always a banker.
I guess he's pretty good at it, too. Knows who to lend money to. Knows a reliable man when he sees one.
Yeah, I suppose so. I never thought much about it.
Leroy! What are you doing down here in your pajamas?
For corn's sake, I couldn't sleep. What was all that racket?
Racket? That Wedgie Arcola's latest record.
Arcola? Oh, boy, play it again, huh? He's super.
Why not? Just the trumpet solo, Everett.
You belong in bed, young man.
Oh, just let me hear it this once. Roll 'em, Everett.
They're rolling.
What'd you say the name of the piece was?
Quiet, I want to hear the trumpet.
They can hear it across the street. Why anybody gets paid for stuff like that, I can't imagine. Leroy!
That's the name of the piece, Unc.
Yeah.
Is you is or is you ain't my baby.
A little ungrammatical, isn't it?
Boy, that Arcola is really super.
Go to bed, Leroy.
But it's only 10:30.
I don't care. It's time you were in bed. Besides, it's 10:45.
It's 10:40.
Stop quibbling and go to bed.
Gosh, you never want me to have any fun.
Hates to go to bed, the little rascal. Now, what were we talking about, Everett? Oh, we were talking about your father.
No, about Wedgie Arcola. But, gee, I ought to be going home.
Stick around. It's only 11.
No, gee, I gotta go.
Well, now that you know the way.
I'd like to come and see Marjorie again.
I hope you will.
That's the way, my dear. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Well, it's sure great to meet people that are interested in good music. I'm afraid Mr. Gildersleeve isn't quite as sold on Wedgie as I am.
Don't you believe it, my boy. I'm crazy about Wedgie.
Really, Uncle Mort?
I think he's great. Is you is, oh, is you ain't my baby.
Oh, gosh. Mr. Gildersleeve, as long as you're getting to be such a fan, how'd it be if we played it once more? Just the solo part.
Oh, sure. Love to hear it.
Come on, Everett. I love every note of that thing.
It'll take more than 10,000 to pay me for this, more than 20. By George, there isn't enough money in the whole bank. Yeah, that's murder.
Oh, it sure is. Well, good night, Mr. Gildersleeve. Good night, Marjorie. I'll leave the record for you. Only take good care of it, huh?
Good night.
Yeah, good night, my boy. Oh, and give my regards to your father. Now, for Pete's sake, let's go to bed.
Greg Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. Now, 3 ways you can help yourself and help the dealer who supplies you with Parquet Margarine, the delicious craft quality spread for bread. First, to save valuable shopping time, know the point value of rationed foods. Parquet Margarine, by the way, still requires only 2 ration points a pound. Second, plan menus a week in advance and serve the most nourishing foods available. And, of course, serve economical Parquet Margarine as often as you can. It's such a splendid energy food and is fortified by Kraft so that every pound contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. And now, a third important point. To conserve paper vitally needed in the war, avoid useless wrapping. Don't ask your dealer to wrap packaged foods. And that means the attractive yellow and blue package, too. Yes, the one that contains that delicious, nourishing spread for bread, Parquet. That's P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet Margarine. Tomorrow, buy Parquet, made by Kraft. Now, let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. Several days have passed since we last saw him, and though he hasn't yet been able to see Mr. Ainsworth Todd of the Summerfield First National, his hopes are high. At the moment, we find him at home, enjoying the comforts thereof.
Oh, that thing again. I can't stand this.
So he leaves home and seeks refuge down at the drugstore with his old friend, Mr. Peavy.
Hot enough for you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I don't care how hot it gets, Peavy, as long as it's quiet. That's one thing I'll say for this place. It's quiet.
Sometimes it's too quiet. Something I can do for you?
No, I'd just like to sit here and enjoy a little peace, if you don't mind.
Little hullabaloo at home?
Hullabaloo. It's a madhouse. Every evening, all evening long, is you is or is you ain't my baby. I can't get the darn thing out of my head.
Yeah, I know how it is. Reminds me of a tune when I was a boy. Drove Father crazy. That must have been 45 years ago, but I still catch myself humming it. Let's see, how did it go now?
Never mind.
Dun, 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 dun,
Let it go.
Dun, dun, dun,
I know.
dun, dun, dun,
I know.
dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
enough.
dun, 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 dun. There'd be a hot time in the old town tonight.
Listen, that's the kind of a thing I came down here to get away from.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve, but your mentioning tunes reminded me of it.
I'll be more careful in the future.
Yes, sir, I believe we still have a record of that on our music box.
Music box? You still have a music box?
Oh, yes. The modern type, of course, with the flat metal record.
The modern type, yes.
I thought some last Christmas of trading it in on a phonograph. Thought maybe Mrs. Peavy might like it. But then I decided to wait until they get the thing perfected.
Well, maybe you're better off with the music box at that, Peavy. At least you won't run into an is you is or is you ain't my baby. Oh, dear. By George, Peavy, have you ever stopped to ask yourself what the younger generation is coming to?
No, I haven't. What are they coming to, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I don't know. But I don't want to be around when it arrives, I'll tell you that. Is you is or is you ain't. I'll tell you one thing, they'll come to no good.
No, I wouldn't say that. You take your children. Now, Marjorie, she comes in here after school sometimes.
Yes?
And the boys crowd around her, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and offer to buy her a soda.
Oh, how does she handle it?
Well, I don't know how she does it, but she does.
By George, she's pretty cute, isn't she?
Yes, and the boys seem to think so, too.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Going to be a problem. Heck, it is a problem.
She was in here yesterday with that Todd boy, the banker's son.
Oh, him. That's nothing to worry about, Peavy. She can't stand him.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Peavy, I know all about it. She's being nice to him. But she's doing that because I asked her to.
You asked her to?
Uh-huh. You see, well, I can't stand the kid either, but his father is president of the bank.
Oh.
McGee and I are planning to negotiate a little loan so we can go into production.
The mousetrap.
Yeah, the mousetrap. I have an appointment at the bank tomorrow morning, Peavy, so I just hold on to myself and keep my temper to Lynn, and Marge, can keep hers. We'll get what we need, and we can give Junior the old heave-ho then. Pretty foxy, eh, Peavy?
Mr. Gildersleeve, do you ever have trouble sleeping nights?
No, why? What do you mean? That's just good business, Peavy. You know Todd will do the same thing. Can't trust those fellas. I only asked the girl to be a little polite to the kid, for goodness sake. There's nothing wrong in that. Oh, good night, Peavy. Well, good morning. Mr. Todd in? Gildersleeve is my name. I have an appointment.
Oh, yes. Right through there, please.
Mr. Todd, remember me? Gildersleeve?
Oh, yes. Come in.
I'm afraid I'm a little early.
That's all right. I've been here since 8:30. Sit down.
Thank you. I guess you have to get up pretty early in the morning to get ahead of the First National Bank of Summerfield. Yes, sir.
Well, we're all a little busy these days.
By the way, we've been seeing a good deal of your son lately. Fine lad. Perhaps he's mentioned me.
Not that I recall.
Oh, he hasn't.
Was there something you wanted to see me about, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, there is. Mr. Todd, you're a banker, right?
I like to think so.
I guess we all know what bankers are in business for, to make a little money, right?
The First National is interested in any legitimate proposition.
Then you've come to the right place. Mr. Todd, I'd like a loan of $10,000.
You would? Well, may I ask the purpose of this loan?
The purpose is to build a factory.
And what, may I ask, is this factory going to manufacture?
None of your business.
Well, you can't expect a loan if you don't tell us what you're going to manufacture.
If I tell you, how do I know you won't steal the idea and make it yourself?
Mr. Gildersleeve, the First National of Summerfield is a banking institution, pure and simple. We do no manufacturing and no selling. Neither do we wash windows.
I noticed that. Well, you're in business, aren't you?
Let us say, rather, that we're engaged in public service.
Well, you can say it, but I don't know who'll believe it, brother. Here I come in with a perfectly good invention that all it needs is a little money to get it started. And what kind of a reception do I get?
Mr. Gildersleeve, if you would be so very kind as to tell me what your invention is, perhaps we could then sit down and discuss this matter reasonably.
All right, I'll tell you. Certainly, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what it is. It's a mousetrap.
It's a mousetrap?
Yeah, and a darn good one.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I am a very busy man. Good day.
Listen, Todd, you can't treat me like this. I'm a depositor in this bank.
I was just about to mention that.
Well, I withdraw my account.
It has just been brought to my attention, Gildersleeve, that your account has been overdrawn.
Nevertheless, I withdraw it. In the future, you can withdraw your son from my power if I don't kick him out first. Yes, sir. I guess I told him. I'll tell that smart aleck kid, too. Teach him to park his car across my driveway.
Oh.
Marjorie!
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I'll deal with you in a moment, young man. Marjorie, will you come with me, please? Here, into my study.
Yes, Uncle Mort.
You wait right where you are, Everett. Now, young lady, was that impudent young scoundrel kissing you, or was he not?
I don't know.
He had his arms around you, didn't he?
Sort of.
He hadn't actually kissed you?
Not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly? He either kissed you or he didn't.
Well, he tried to kiss me, but he missed.
Oh, I see. I might have known he'd be that kind of a boy who'd pull something like that. I knew he was a sneak the first minute I laid eyes on him.
He's not a sneak.
Oh, yes, he is. He's a sneak, and so is his father. And by George, I'm going to kick him right out of this house, and right now.
Wait a minute, Uncle Mort. It wasn't his fault.
Of course it was his fault. It's always the boy's fault.
I tried to get him to kiss me.
Marjorie, do you know what you're saying?
I tried to get
Don't repeat it. Yes, my little niece. I knew the time would be coming soon when we'd have to face this kind of thing.
Oh, Uncle Mort, it's not so serious.
Not so... Sit down, my dear. Look at me, not off at the bookcase. Now, this is serious, my dear. A girl's first kiss is something very special. It should mean a great deal.
But I had my first kiss 2 years ago. Jerry Nesmith. He kissed me in the cloakroom in junior high school.
Oh, he did, eh? Well, from now on, I want your kisses to be something sacred, Marjorie. I want you to start saving them for the man you're going to marry.
But I don't know who that is.
You'll know when you meet him. When the right man comes along, you'll know.
How?
Well, you just know, that's all. You'll feel like spring in your heart, my dear. You'll find yourself thinking about him all the time. You'll be unhappy when he's not around. You'll spend all day looking forward to the moment when you'll see him. And when you're with him, you'll feel like singing.
Is that the way it is?
That's love, my dear, when the right man comes along.
That's exactly the way I felt ever since Tuesday.
Oh! That's ridiculous. You're much too young. You're just a child.
Yesterday I saw his face in my English literature book, just as clear.
Marjorie, this is nonsense.
Last night I felt like singing when I saw him coming up the front steps.
This has gone far enough, young lady. You send this boy home instantly.
But Uncle Morris!
I forbid you to see him again.
But why?
I'll not have kissing going on at your age. Will you send him home?
No, I won't.
Marjorie, have you no regard for my wishes?
But Uncle Mort, this whole thing was your idea in the first place.
Well, I only wanted you to be friendly.
Well, I was. Can I help it if I like him?
Liking him is one thing, and kissing and cuddling is something else. I won't have it.
Well, can we be just friends?
Can I trust you?
Sure. We'll just talk and have fun like we did before.
Well, we can try it. But the first time I see a sign of any monkey business...
Oh, Uncle Mort, you're a darling.
Now, Marjorie.
You're the sweetest uncle that ever lived.
Now, why did I do that? Well, we're only young once, I guess. Probably just as well, too. Oh! This could go on for years.
say.
Oh, yes, Leroy, what happened?
Boy, did I have fun with Ethel Hammerschlags.
What? You and Ethel Hammerschlag?
Yeah, in the cloakroom.
Leroy, what did...
Me and Piggy put a live frog in her lunchbox. Boy, was she surprised.
Very good, my boy. And I mean, don't ever do it again. You had a little Leroy. Good night, everybody.
This program was directed by Claude Sweet, and this is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Why is it that meat roast, so appetizing at dinner, often tastes a little flat when you serve it cold? Well, the reason is meat, in cooling, loses flavor. So the natural thing to do is add more flavor. And that's where Kraft prepared mustards brightly step into the picture to liven foods with their tangy, tempting flavors. Remember, there are two popular Kraft mustards, a mild-flavored golden Kraft salad mustard and a sharper Kraft mustard with nippy horseradish added. They're both grand flavor treats in sandwiches and on hot dogs and cold cuts. Delicious, too, in many other appetizing ways. For example, Kraft salad mustard adds a sparkling flavor tang to deviled eggs, relishes, appetizers, salad dressings, cheese fondues, and Welsh rabbits. And Kraft horseradish mustard is really scrumptious in a zippy sauce for fish. So for flavor variety, buy both kinds. Nippy Kraft horseradish mustard and tangy golden Kraft salad mustard.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.